Hey there, this is the first of 3 little reviews that I'm doing. And the reason they're little reviews is because these 3 knives I didn't really connect with. But I may as well tell you why, rather than just not do videos on them and send them back. Because it was part of a little knife pass around from the YouTuber Stassa23. Check out Nick's channel, he gets all the good stuff in. Much cooler, newer stuff than I do, and he's a good reviewer, and a very decent bloke. So check out Nick's channel. These came via Nero, I believe, and had been via a few other people, so they've been in circulation for ages, and I've held on to them for way too long. I really shouldn't accept loans, and this has been another solidifying experience for that, because I just never get to them. Anyway, enough talk. The first of these 3 knives is the Spyderco Gayle Bradley. So let's head down to the tabletop, and I'll talk you through it. The Gayle Bradley is a mid to larger size EDC knife, seeing it there next to what I would class as an upper small EDC is the Delica, and then the Benchmade 940, which you'll see is sort of about the same-ish size, maybe a little bit smaller as well. And then next to a Buck 110, which is just a little tiny bit larger and of course a lot heavier because it's a Buck 110. So the Gayle Bradley, being a Bradley knife, he likes a couple of steels. He likes M4 a lot, and he likes PSF 27 a lot. And so this is an M4 Gayle Bradley model, and this was one of the first sort of real kind of expensive Spydercos, and I do believe it is still made. It's a very sort of very basic liner locking, one-hand opening, sort of I guess gentleman's style tactical pocket knife. It's got a Bradley shaped blade. You'd seen the Junction that I reviewed a while ago, certainly very similar, and you've seen the Advocate, which is also a Bradley design. He's got a sort of distinctive blade shape that kind of goes really well with a spider hole. Big, long, flat, kind of a duck shaped blade, really nice. It does cut and perform very well. The handle here is carbon fiber. I can't vouch for whether it is real stuff or just the laminated layer stuff. It looks like it might be the laminated layer stuff, as it's quite a solid black on the side here. But either way, that's totally fine. Got stainless steel liners there, and it's got a very smooth, easy deployment. So a very light flick gets the knife going out really, really well. Very sort of, not Sebenza smooth, but doesn't feel like bearings either. I'm pretty sure it's just a washer knife. So, specifics of it aside, I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like about the knife. What I like about it is the blade. This is one of the best slicing and performing Spydercos I've had in a long time. Spydercos have long been sort of adhered to making largely full flat knives, and in fact, hollow grinds do cut a little better than full flats against most materials and equal against other materials, but very rarely do they cut poorer than full flat grinds. So it's a really well done hollow grind, quite a nice tall concaving, which starts from this line up here, and it's a very nicely ground and finished blade altogether. It has been used, it's been through several reviewers' hands, and I do believe Nero or someone before has sharpened, and it is still particularly sharp. M4 is a great steel. Overall, the blade is a real success. It slices and cuts and slashes and does all that good stuff really, really well. Obviously, you need to take a bit of care of it. There is some like patinaing on it, which is just, again, from a whole bunch of use and different, I assume, just sitting in different people's pockets as it's been part of this pass-around little idea here. But yeah, the blade is excellent. However, I find, and this probably doesn't mean it's a bad handle, I just find the handle, much like some shoes I guess wouldn't fit my foot, this handle just doesn't fit my hand. So you've got sort of 2 main ways of holding it. You can sort of choke back on it like this, or you can choke up on it like this. Now choking up on it, I feel like if when I choke up, I feel like the hole needs to start a little bit later, and then my thumb could rest on it a bit easy like that, right? But then when I choke back, I feel like the hole should be starting earlier, and my thumb would rest on it a little bit better if it was back here. So it's just a bit of an odd placement for me, really. So say my EDC today is the Spyderco Police 4, right? So even when I choke back on it, my thumb sits fully nicely on that rise. And that's the good thing about Spydercos and the spider hole. They give you this good thumb rise placement there. Some people hate it, I quite like it. And then when you choke up like this, the pinch just feels a little bit more comfortable than the pinch does on the Gayle Bradley there. So I just don't quite have a comfortable position that this handle sits in. It feels a little bit broad, bulky and square as well. And as I said, it probably isn't a bad handle overall, but it just doesn't fit how my hand seems to want to hold it. And yeah, I've just not particularly enjoyed having it in hand and using that excellent blade for cutting because of that. So that's the main two things I'll say about it, I guess. The clip is just your standard Spyderco spoon style clip at home on a Delica or an Enduro, or indeed this knife. It doesn't have the lanyard hole bored out. Some of them do, some of them don't. Overall, the machining and the tolerances and everything seems to be done really well. It's a Taichung Taiwan Spyderco, and yeah, if it had a better handle, the blade would just be fabulous. And then, of course, you'd be able to probably enjoy using it a whole lot more, at least I would. But that's just me, and this knife may fit your hand absolutely perfectly. I can certainly vouch for the blade performance and the fit and finish and how well it's put together, but just didn't connect with me when I got it in hand and just used it, especially when I used it at length. So I gave it a few days and it just didn't hit with me, so that's why I'm keeping this as a shorter review. So that is the Spyderco Gayle Bradley for you there. Check out Stas's channel, Stas23, and let's tick on with the other two.